the ground. Let's go ahead and see if we can find some space leaning our backs into the earth. So take your time, head on down to the ground, settling down with the floor beneath you. If you haven't turned on any kind of music at home and you'd like to have that, feel free to go ahead and turn on a little bit of something to keep you motivated in practice today. Otherwise, just the sound of my voice works too. Today's opening intention, the way we are going to start our practice today, is just to make some connection with our breath and focus on finding a little bit of ease today. So oftentimes when you sign up for a yoga flow class or you go to hit play on something described as energizing or strength building, it's easy to forget that we should be looking for just as much ease out of this practice as we are effort. So appreciate the moments that you have to take a nice deep breath. Appreciate the time that you have to drop a shoulder from your ear or extend the fingertips a little further or sit into a stretch a little deeper. Look for the ease in this moment. E-A-S-E, looking for the ease. So just take a couple more breaths. Maybe inhaling to the count of 4. And then exhaling to the count of 4. Perhaps even spelling the word ease as you inhale. E-A-S-E. Exhale, E-A-S-E. Giving yourself the space you need to make physical connection with the earth below you. But let your emotions, let your minds, let everything else just have a few breaths to just settle. Those of you taking this live with me, it's a Monday morning, and that often brings a swirl of emotions. Sometimes even a little bit of anxiety as we look ahead to a full calendar. Or one with a little bit of empty space, perhaps, that we're not used to. Use this breath as you start today's practice to feel connected, not only with yourself, but virtually through our yoga community here. We'll start to add some gentle movement into the body. If your knees have been bent, let's go ahead and extend those legs long down the mat. Maybe even stretch the hands up in the opposite direction of your toes, pointing and flexing the feet, letting the body become nice and long. We'll start to walk our heels towards the left edge of the mat. Lift up your head, neck, and shoulders, and start to stretch your hands as well over to that left side. You're making somewhat of a banana spine here, just letting the side body open. Inhale, breath, head, neck, and shoulders back towards center. Walk those feet, send them over to the right edge of the mat. Head, neck, and shoulders lift as our hands stretch over to that right edge. Allow the side body to feel open. We'll take our time. Feet start to walk back to the center of the mat. Head, neck, and shoulders back to center. Point and flex those toes a little bit. And then start bending the knees to bring the feet a little closer to your hips. Closer to the glutes. Hands might even come down on either sides of the body here as we windshield wiper the knees. A little right and a little left. Just an easy spinal twist, just kind of opening up those abdominals, opening up the hips, thighs. And then when you feel ready, we'll bring these knees all the way in towards the body. Knees towards the belly, maybe the toes point, or perhaps they flex, or you kind of move back and forth between. You can even be rocking around a little bit, right and left. Keeping that right knee hugged into the body, switch the grip over to that right knee as you elevate the left foot up towards the sky. We're going to point through those left toes and just give this left leg just a little bit of movement. I'm kind of circling it on the ceiling, but it doesn't give me a ton of space to do that. So I'm just trying to point, sway maybe a little bit right and left. Point and flex the toes one more time, and then switch out your legs. Opposite knee moves in towards the belly. Point and flex the toes. Rolling around the ankle a little bit. And then when you feel ready, these knees come back down into the chest. Point and flex the toes one more time. We're going to be using our ankles a little bit today, as you can tell, because we're really warming up those legs, or those ankle joints rather. Hands switching to the backs of the legs, maybe extend the feet up towards the ceiling. And then hands are going to stretch up overhead like a letter L. As you exhale, bend those knees, hands come down on either sides of the hips. Inhale, find the length. Exhale, find a little strength in that core. Just moving through this with your own breath. Maybe you move at the pace of me, or perhaps you're going a little faster, or a little slower. Last one at your own pace. Knees come in and find the chest, rocking a little bit right and left, and then starting a little bit of momentum, rolling back and forth on the spine to get you up to your seat. We'll go ahead and turn ourselves however you feel best so that you can best see the screen. Find yourself with a tall spine lifted up towards the sky, hands reach out and open to the sides of your body. As you feel ready, a big inhale breath brings hands high above your head. Right hand falls down to the side, side body stretch. Maybe today you focus on keeping your gaze a little more upward. Inhale, bring the breath back to center, high and tall. Exhale, fall. Inhale, bring the breath high and center. Exhale, go back to that first side. This time, the hand that's in the sky is going to come down and touch just outside that knee, tapping onto the earth. Inhale, lift both hands back up, and then let's go the other way. Hand comes out and touches just outside that knee, or perhaps you can have a block handy. Place that hand on the block. Perfect. Big inhale, hands reach back up. Exhale, bring hands to heart. Good work. Let's go ahead and move the hands and knees. Taking your time, let's find tabletop position. Wrists under shoulders, knees are going to be under hips. Go ahead and invite in a couple cat cows right away. Just to kind of get some movement in the spine. Again, wrists under shoulders, knees under hips, belly's dropping down on your inhale breath, and it's rounding on your exhale breath. And you're just kind of taking your time here, just seeing where your body feels this morning. Where you're hiding some tension. Is it in between your shoulders? Is it in your low back? Last one at your own pace. Then we'll come back to a nice tabletop. Right hand's going to stretch straight out in front. Left leg straight behind. Build that balancing table. Take your gaze several inches out in front of this hand that's on the ground. And just find a nice long spine for the body. As you exhale, elbow and knee look for one another underneath the table. And then extend back out. So just take your time moving through that space. Elevating, extending the body. Last one. Hand comes down to ground, toes on this back foot, start to point towards the earth as we push through that heel. Calf stretch here, or you can curl the toes under on this opposite foot. Start to lift the hips and put yourself into a little bit of a half down dog. As you feel ready, right knee drops back to the earth. Step this left foot all the way through, up towards your hands. Lift the hands up off the earth, low lunge. 3 cactus arms. So inhale, reach. Exhale, find cactus. A little too close to the wall. Inhale, reach and find cactus. So take your own rhythm here. Complete 3 of those. When you get to that third one, reach the hands back up nice and tall. Cartwheel, hands down to earth. Take this foot that's at the front of the mat, and you're going to step it straight back and long. Go back into one more long breath in that balancing table. Hand comes to find the ground. Knee comes underneath. Switch sides. Opposite leg goes long. Toenails pointing down towards the earth. Opposite hand reaches out. Balancing table, other side. Looking for length from your fingertips to your toes. Start to add that motion. Inhale, length. Exhale, looking for some strength, knee to elbow. Length, strength. Remembering that if at any time this hand needs to come to earth, and you need to just operate with the lower half of your body, that's all right. Finish that last one, and then let the leg go nice and long. Toes come down, hands to earth. Put those toes on the earth. Push through that heel, nice good calf stretch. Or curl the toes under on this opposite foot. Lift to a little half down dog. Dropping the left knee back to earth. Step the right foot all the way through. Hands leave the ground when you feel ready. And just as you did before, 3 cactus. Inhaling when you reach up. Exhaling when you come down. This time as we reach the hands up, we'll cartwheel them forward towards the earth. Stepping this front foot back, go back into one more breath in that balancing table. Hand rejoins the ground. Foot comes down, step both feet back to find one another, lift hips. Find your first downward facing dog of this yoga flow practice. Walking out those feet, bending the knees, looking for length in your spine. Great work. Small steps with the feet. Take your time to walk them up towards your hands. Hang in a forward fold, shaking the head, yes, perhaps, and no. An inhale breath brings us up halfway, long spine. Exhale breath, fold. Inhale breath, reach and look up towards the sky, hands connecting overhead. Exhale to the heart. Half sun salutation, length on your inhale. Exhale, hinge and fold. Inhale, come up halfway, long spine. Exhale, fold. Plant the feet, big full inhale, reach up, look up. Exhale, hands to heart. One more time, same rhythm, up and fold. Halfway up and fold. Plant the feet, big inhale, reach up, look up, Exhale, hands to heart. Find an inhale breath right here, steady on the earth. Exhale breath, hands reach to the left side of your knees as you sink into a little chair. Inhale breath, stand tall. Exhale breath, hands reach to the right side of your knees, sink to the chair, 3 breaths. Continuing to breathe. Next inhale brings us up tall, hands to heart. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Right foot steps back. Right knee drops to the ground just as you did before, so you can put the toenails of that right foot on the ground, hands reach up. You got your left knee forward, so take your right hand to the outer edge of that knee. Left arm opens as you gaze back over that shoulder. Taking this hand that's behind you, circle around to the front, and then send it back one more time. Circle it around to the front, release the hand, the right hand from your knee, both hands up tall. Exhale, send these hands down to the earth, toes curl under on your back foot, lift the knee. Stay here, add blocks if you'd like. You can lift the chest and send these hands back, or you can bring them up tall. 2 more breaths. Blocks, hands back, hands tall. Whatever you prefer. Cartwheeling down on your next exhale. Step this foot all the way to the back of the mat. Plank pose. Plank on your knees or plank with strength, knees lifted, whichever you prefer. Exhale, breath lowers you down. 1 cobra lift. Hands on opposite sides of the heart. Rotating onto knees or back to plank to down dog. Whatever transition works best for you. We're in that dog shape. Small steps or a large leap when the breath feels ready. Bring the feet up towards your hands. Finding a half lift with that long spine. Fold. Plant the feet. Big inhale, reach up, look up, hands to heart. Inhale, breath here. Exhale, bend the knees, send the hands to the left side. Right away, inhale, stand back up. Exhale, other side. Inhale, stand up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, fold. Left foot steps back. Left knee drops, hits the ground, toenails on the mat. Hands come up. Right knee forward, so left hand goes to knee. Right arm starts to open. Palm waving to the side. Twist. Take this hand that's behind you, take a full circle. Open it back up to that same twist. Coming out of that shape, hands will go up. Heart will back down onto blocks or the floor, toes curl under on this back foot. Lift the knee. You're here for 3 breaths. Here for 3 breaths. Or here. Your choice. See what's in the tank today. See what kind of strength we can get out of these legs while still finding a little bit of that ease. Watch as the breath floats out of the body Exhaling back to your earth when you feel ready. Front foot steps back. Let's take it to plank again. Maybe it's a traditional plank. Pushing those heels back or pulling with the crown of the head. Feeling strength in your arms and your core. Or maybe the knees move to the earth. As you feel ready, ease your way down. Maybe this time you walk hands back, even with breastbone. Push hard into the ground. Lift the chest, maybe lift the thighs. Hips start to lift. And place yourself into downward facing dog. All right, friends, as you feel ready, feet move themselves back to your hands again. Forward fold. Inhale, half lift, long spine. Exhale, fold. Plant the feet, reach the hands as high as they can go. Look up. Exhale, hands to heart. Last round of that seated twist. Exhale, chair pose. Inhale, stand back up. Exhale, chair. Inhale, stand back up. Exhale, right into your fold. Half lift. And fold. Both feet are going to step to the back of the mat. We're going to move all the way down to our bellies. And then activate your lower body. So I've got my hands, and I need to adjust my camera so you can see a little bit more. But I've got my hands right here on either side of my chest. My toes are pointed and slightly lifted up off the earth. Forehead can rest into the ground. See if you can activate that backside body. To alternate or adjust is the word I was looking for. The camera adjusts the hair. Your low body is very active right now. Upper body can have a little bit of a rest. Continue to keep that nice fluid breath. Now rest. Let your toenails come down. Let your hips relax into the floor. You might even feel nice to flex the feet for a moment. Let them sway. Then see if you can stretch your hands out in front. Option to stretch them in front and place them on blocks. Or you can have them flat to the earth. Inhale, breath, glue those toenails down. Lift the upper body. Stretching hands out. Maybe your hands are lifted, or maybe you need more of a break and more of a stretch than strength. Exhale, float back down, forehead to the mat. Feet, knees bend rather, feet sway. Relax the low back. Optional Superman for the whole body this time. Maybe those toes feel active. We lift the feet, we lift the chest, and stretch out. We're looking just a few inches out in front of us, not necessarily lifting the neck all the way up. Maintaining that breath, stay strong, point those toes. Exhale, release, good work. Feel the heat within the body. Right knee's gonna bend. Left knee's gonna bend. Just kind of keep those feet for a moment. And then when you feel ready, we'll plant ourselves here on the belly. Reach back with right hands, looking for the top of this right foot. Maybe you can make connection there to hug that heel down into the quad. If you're looking for more ease than effort today, you'll stay right here and just embrace this stretch upon that quad. Other option is to stretch your left hand straight out in front of you. Let it touch the floor. Kick into this foot. Let the chest lift slightly as you move into dancer pose on your belly. Relaxing from that shape as you feel ready. Sending the legs long. Switching sides. Maybe your right arm becomes pillow as you reach back with your left hand, making connection with that foot. More ease than effort, you'll just stay right here. Embrace the quad stretch. If you want a little more effort, you can stretch this right hand out in front. Kick into the foot with the foot. So this isn't my hand ripping and grabbing that foot. It's my foot kicking into my hand, which causes the arch in my back. My pelvis is glued to the earth along with the belly button. Hand is outstretched, gaze is towards the thumb, but my neck is relaxed. Go ahead and fold back down. Go ahead and let go of that foot. Find the shape that works for you here. Maybe swinging those feet side to side. Others, I often see, find themselves doing maybe a couple cobras or an up dog. Take whatever transitions make sense to you, and then just phase yourself to a child's pose. So however it makes the most sense to get back up towards your knees, put yourself in child's pose, walking your hands maybe to the left edge of the mat, sitting over to that right hip, let your side body open. Then walk those hands back to the center of the mat, over to the other side, sit to the hip, let it open. Good concentration on breath here. Beautiful work. Hands start to move back to the center of the mat. Come up and find your table. Wrists on your shoulders, knees under your hips. Couple rounds of cat-cow, belly dropping down on the inhale. A nice rounded back on the exhale. 2 more. Last one. Beautiful work. From here, we'll move into our downward facing dog. So put the hips up nice and high again. Walk out your dog. We're going to keep the right foot in position on the earth. Lift the left leg to the sky. Try your best to focus on a 3-legged dog, meaning the hips stay square to the earth. You're going to bring this left knee forward, see if it can kiss your left elbow, and then send it back up. 2 more. Find that breath. Remembering this opposite knee can always drop into the earth if it needs a little space. Perfect. Next time that knee comes forward, let it hover right behind that wrist. Bring the toe over towards the right edge of the mat. Then settle it down. Start looking for traditional pigeon. Leg goes long behind. Front knee is bent. Toes are cutting across my mat at a 45-degree angle. I'm taking my time to walk this leg out, taking a quick peek behind, making sure that my hip and my leg are in a nice straight line. You can reach for those blocks that maybe you have handy in your practice. They can go underneath the arms, the head. They can stick underneath the outer edge of that hip to have a little more space. Those practicing with me live today, this is a very familiar pose to you. But remember, if at any point in time these shapes don't work, you can always modify or adjust. You can roll to the outer hip, bring that hip down to the earth, maybe even bend this back leg, and take a more modified version, just kind of falling out of that big shape. You can always roll yourself to your back as well. For those who are comfortable in this traditional pigeon, let's get about 3 more breaths. Really surrender the chest to the earth. Start seeking that ease that we talked about. Letting it all just melt down into the ground. 1 easy breath at a time. All right, next natural inhale. Just take your time to start to lift the chest back up off the earth. Hands go underneath. We're gonna go back to either table or down dog, your choice. If you choose down dog, your hips will lift. Go right back into that. Lift it upside down V shape. Go walk it out a little bit. Maybe even transition to three-legged dog right away. Lifting the right foot up this time, holding those hips nice and square. Next, natural exhale, bring this knee forward towards your elbow. Pause, lift, send it back. So your spine makes a slight pat spine when that knee comes forward, and then you send it back to relax. You bring it forward, you use that breath. Exhale and hold, and then you send it out. Now this next time it comes back, go ahead and hover. Feel strong. You got this. Knee drops down. Good work. Okay, drop that back knee into the ground. Ease this foot back for a little more length. I like to do kind of a toes and then walk my knee, and then toes and then walk my knee. Just start to settle down into that shape. Perhaps the hands look toward the ground or with these blocks. But any kind of discomfort you might be experiencing in this front knee, you might want to fix that. I'm going to show you how to kind of roll to that outer hip. Pay attention to what feels good in your own body. Maybe lay down. Other options might be to add props into the shape. You can always take a block. Place it under this back hip. Take another block. Put it underneath your arms. Pigeon is definitely a big shape, and if you were a beginner or just starting to practice, the shape might be too big for you today. You might feel very uncomfortable and like you never really found your zen. Just know that when you're practicing yoga, there's only so many poses. So at a certain point, you know them, you're familiar with them, and everything becomes a little bit more relaxed. Stop listening so much. Hear the general cues to get into the shape, and then let your own body take over. Your breath will probably start to become more relaxed as you become more familiar with the yoga poses. And that's always my goal for those of you who've been practicing for a while. That I definitely become just more of a guide. And then you start listening to your inner voices, heart, the intention behind the practice. And just let things go. Let the yoga become so much more than what's just happening here on this mat. All right, my friends, when you feel ready, chest starts to leave the earth. You have an option to move back into your final down dog. You can go to hands and knees, perhaps, for a couple cat-cows, excuse me, or a child's pose. If a vinyasa even feels like it makes sense here, you can take yourself through that if you'd like. Knowing where you are on the spectrum between effort and ease. But just take yourself somewhere where your body can have a few more breaths, or we transition onto our seat, and then ultimately our backs. All right, as you feel ready, you've been in down dog, maybe your knees drop to ground. You might crisscross at the ankles or sweep your legs around side and start to transition yourself to a seat with legs long down the mat. Big inhale, breath takes you to a seated forward fold. Length coming from the spine, trying our best not to round too much through the back. Inhale, breath, bring the chest up, bring both knees in with you today. Option for boat pose, hands might reach out in front, palms flip to the sky. Option 1 is to keep one foot on the ground, lifting other, take 3 breaths, and then switch your feet. Option 2 might be hands near the hips, both feet leave the ground, slight rounding through the shoulders, couple breaths here. Option 3, which I can't model very greatly, might be arms and hands. My core strength doesn't quite do that one just yet. But wherever you are on that spectrum, see if you can take just a couple more breaths in that boat pose. Good work, my friends. Feet find the ground. Start to transition back to your backs. Knees might come immediately into the chest. That might feel like a natural place to go. If you have a block handy, I didn't tell you to bring it with you, but if you have a block handy and you want to slide it underneath your back for a guided or gentle inversion, feel free. If you're like me and you're practicing in a space where there's a wall nearby, feel free to twist and turn yourself in such a way that your legs find themselves going up the wall. If you don't quite have that luxury, no worries. There's lots of other, crawl around the floor here. There's lots of other ways that you can start to conclude today's practice. Maybe your knees fall wide and you take yourself into a bound ankle pose, or your knees move into chest to something resembling happy baby, or knees to chest. We didn't do a ton of twisting today, but if the twist feels like it would make sense here, you can certainly welcome that. So I've given you lots of different options. This is where we go back to the idea of me just being a guide, and you see what feels good in your own body. You might take me up on that offer to find legs up the wall somewhere in your house, on a chair, on a couch, or on a blank wall. You might find yourself getting into a space where you're just ready for a long body stretch on the floor, or even ready for more of a traditional savasana. Wherever you are in the state of this practice, feel free to embrace it. We're definitely to the part of practice where things should feel like a lot less work and more about just letting things sift and settle back into place. So connect once more with that breath that you found very early on in our practice. Let yourself have space for the inhale and space for the exhale. If any poses you are doing in this moment do not allow for large, deep breaths, start to cut back. The shape might be too big if we can't take full, deep breaths in it. Relaxing the muscles of your face, cheeks, chin, neck. Let that same feeling of ease over effort to move through your shoulders, down the arms, into the fingertips. Ease over effort as it moves down your spine, through your hips, all the way to the tips of your toes. Slowly starting to become aware of your breath. Making gentle movements come back into the body, however they feel the most natural. We all chose different ways to start to close out today's practice, so it might be just wiggling the fingers or toes, might be coming slowly down off the wall or off of a chair. It might be bringing the knees to the chest, rocking ourselves easy from side to side, before ultimately resting on one side, maybe the right, using your arm as a pillow. Just take your time. Working your way back up to a seated posture. As we close out today's practice together, maybe bringing palm to palm, sitting with a nice tall spine. And then just close your eyes and see if you can spell that simple word of ease once more back to yourself. Today's final words come from the book of A Year of Living Your Yoga by Judith Lassiter. A short nap can make all the difference. This afternoon, find a quiet place and lay down for 20 minutes. The rest of your day will be more enjoyable for you and those around you. A short nap can make all the difference. Today's class, we did try to bring as much attention as we could to the ease that can be found in life. We know that certain practices just require work. Certain things in our lives need effort. But there's lots of times where we get swallowed up in all the effort and forget to find the ease that's ever present. I encourage you today to find the ease. Maybe it's through that short little nap, or maybe it's just being more conscious of all of your daily efforts and look for those windows of opportunity to appreciate the ease. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Thank you again. Namaste. Thank you, guys.